that in an increasingly modern world, people are becoming more disconnected and lost. We live in an era where a few clicks can buy anything, yet we feel increasingly unfulfilled. We can access the sum of human knowledge, yet we are losing peace of mind. Welcome back to Inner World Podcast, where we activate inner wisdom, cultivate serene mindset, and build a strong foundation from within. I am Liam Johnson, your companion on this transformational journey, as our program spans 21 sessions to elevate inner awareness. And each session is conveniently divided into parts of about 30 minutes. In the previous episode, we learned about the 4 human challenges and the 7 holistic wealth aspects of life. Today, we move into the next topic, material and non-material. This is a crucial awareness, arguably the most pivotal in any personal development journey, to help you become truly wealthy in every dimension. Not just about money, not just about status, but about wholeness, from wisdom, character, mindset, virtue, physical health, capability, to material well-being. We spend a lifetime earning money, but seldom learn how to enrich our minds. We invest heavily in the body, but neglect emotional and soul health. We worry about our children gaining knowledge and skills, but forget to teach them gratitude, honesty, and compassion. Is this perhaps why our lives remain unstable, exhausted, and unsteady? Is this perhaps why we nurture the branches and neglect the roots? In today's video, we will cover 3 main parts. We will briefly revisit last session's knowledge, the definition of wealth, a definition powerful enough to change how you see the world and yourself. On materializing material and materializing non-material, to help you understand and thereby embody both material and non-material. The brain activation principle, turning daily learning into real transformational motivation. The most important insight is at the end of this video, where I will reveal how you can begin practicing today in a simple yet profound way, so that each passing day you truly become richer from within, helping you become the most complete and whole version of yourself. Are you ready? Take a deep breath and join me as we begin. I want to begin with a question that could change how you view life. If you have a lot of money but a restless mind, a weary body, broken relationships, and no sense of gratitude, are you truly wealthy? You see, there are things we can measure, like money in the bank, muscles in the mirror, or degrees on the wall. But there are things we cannot weigh, count, or measure, like gratitude, inner calm, character, or depth of wisdom. They belong to another realm, one I call non-material wealth. Usually, we only tend to the first 3 factors: capability, physical health, and material wealth. These 3 are important, but only a small part of the bigger picture. If you only develop your capability, you may be skilled but not necessarily happy. If you only invest in your body, you may be healthy but not truly fulfilled. And if you only accumulate material wealth, you may be rich in money but poor in trust, poor in spirit. So what does holistic wealth look like? It is when someone knows how to light up all 7 lamps within themselves: wisdom, mindset, character, virtue, capability, physical health, and material wealth. These 7 lamps are the 7 pillars. Once you light them all, you become a holistically wealthy person. Have you ever sat down, faced yourself, and asked, am I sufficient in these 7 areas? If the answer is no, that is not a flaw, but an invitation to begin this journey that I, Liam Johnson, am on with you here on Inner World Podcast. On this journey, you do not need to leave where you are, living, or have a lot of money. What you need is sincerity to look inward and a commitment to light each lamp a little every day. Imagine a dark room. You do not need to clear the darkness, you just light a lamp. And if you light 7 lamps, the room will glow. This is the image of a holistically wealthy person. The world teaches us to gain wealth from outside in. I invite you to do the reverse. Build wealth from inside out. And a miracle will happen. When you are rich inside, your outside life will gradually reflect it. Someone once said, people do not pay you based on who you are, but on the value you create. And that value is proportional to how deep your inner world is developed. Meaning, if you are rich in wisdom, if you are rich in mindset, you will act differently. If you are rich in character, you will be trusted. If you are rich in virtue, you will naturally attract opportunities. That is why in every episode of Inner World Podcast, I do not just talk about success. I talk about meaning, not just skills, but character. Because I believe holistic wealth is a life you can wake into with a smile. A life where you are grateful for small things, even as the world outside is volatile and changing. Let us affirm these 4 truths. Wealth is not just having money, but truly having inner values. Holistic wealth is the combination of 7 core elements: wisdom, mindset, character, virtue, capability, physical health, material wealth. When you light each of these, you are living a full, meaningful life. And this journey, the inner journey, is the most sustainable foundation for you to go far, grow deeper, and most importantly, be true to yourself. After we begin redefining wealth so it no longer just involves money or numbers, a new door opens. A door that allows us to look deeper into the material world and see that behind everything that appears material, there always exists another layer of value. In other words, some things look like mere objects, but actually carry a story, an emotion, a memory, a meaning that makes them irreplaceable. And when you start non-materializing material, you are stepping into the depths of life. An old car may be worthless on the market, but priceless in your heart. Not because it is new or fast, but because it was the car you drove on your first day of starting out, or the car that drove your family home one Christmas long ago. You see, the car remains the car, but when memory and emotion are placed into it, it ceases to be just an item. It becomes a symbol of memory. A painting, if you only look with your eyes, you see colors and frame, but if you look with your mind, you see the depth of history. Who painted it, under what circumstances? Who once preserved it? It is precisely those non-material elements, meaning origin, connection with an era, that elevate its value. The painting becomes a spiritual treasure, not because of oil paint or pigments, but because of the story it carries. A limited edition item is expensive not because of the material, but because of the spirit. There are only a few in the world, each tied to a special event. The owner does not just buy a product, they own a unique symbol. The expensive here is not cost, but unique meaning. A pair of shoes can be made of the same material, but their value may differ wildly. Because there are some meticulously researched shoes designed to support foot bones, materials fit the climate, made by traditional production techniques. Each step brings a feeling of being cherished. You do not just wear shoes, you carry the dedication and vision of its creator. A piece of vegetable may seem ordinary, but carries special value when grown with love. The grower chooses the right harvest time, transports carefully, uses no chemicals, and respects nature. And you feel that in every meal. This is no longer just food, but the crystallization of care. So what is happening here? We are not just consuming material, but consuming the hidden non-material value within material. And when you realize this, you choose not just based on price, but based on meaning. You are not rushing to shop. You reflect on what it brings to your life. You begin to appreciate more because you understand that each item, each experience, carries a part of the soul of its creator. Now pause for a moment. Think about yourself. Can you non-materialize yourself to become a person of greater value, living a more meaningful life? In the next part, we will talk about this, how to turn invisible qualities like wisdom, mindset, character, into things that can be felt and applied. That is what we need to reflect on for ourselves. When it comes to wisdom, virtue, character, or mindset, we often nod and acknowledge that those things are important, but then we let them pass like the wind. Why? Because they are invisible, and humans from ancient times tend to cling to what can be seen and touched. But you know something invisible, yet deep enough, will leave a tangible imprint. A small stream can wear away a rock. A right thought can change destiny. A calm mindset can hold a family steady through storms. Wisdom, when first encountered, seems abstract, but when you reflect on it, chew on it, and live with it daily at some point, you will feel it exist in you. It is no longer knowledge out there. It becomes how you think, how you speak, and how you respond to challenges. Mindset is the same. At first, it is just a concept: positive living, gratitude, letting go. But if you practice, note, and live with those feelings each day, gradually you no longer react impulsively. You become quieter, deeper, more understanding, and people begin to say, "This person is different." It is strangely comfortable to be around them. That is precisely materializing the invisible. The only path to non-materializing yourself is to learn to materialize those invisible values. Many ask me, how can I become calm, grateful, and profound like those I admire? I answer, you do not need to become that immediately. You only need to start making real the things you believe to be right. Do not let wisdom only stay in books. Do not let virtue remain just sermon. Let every value you cherish become a specific action, a specific habit, a specific choice each day. 21-day practice, a journey to bring your inner world into reality. I invite you on this special journey, 21 days of materializing your inner world. No need to go far, no need to change your environment. You only need each day to devote 3 to 4 hours to yourself. Do not say, "I have no time." The real question should be, do I consider myself worthy of 3 hours each day? If you do not invest time in yourself, who will? In those 21 days, you will. Enrich wisdom by reading, writing, reflecting, sharing. Enrich mindset by noting positives, writing, gratitude, practicing stillness. Enrich virtue by keeping promises, helping someone, doing the right thing when no one is watching. Enrich character by standing up for goodness, apologizing when wrong, forgiving when needed. This is a life philosophy. It is a foundational education program where you not only learn, but become. Why does this matter? Because the world is changing rapidly. And if you do not build a strong inner foundation, you will be swept away by superficial things. We cannot control life, but we can prepare ourselves well enough to face it. And that is why I believe if you take these 21 days seriously, not to learn something new, but to return to the core values within yourself, you will begin a whole different life. Not an easier life, but one in which you are stronger. Not a life in which everything gets better, but one in which you are good enough to receive everything. Once you have embarked on the journey of materializing invisible values, you begin to realize one thing inside you. Not only is there light, but also darkness, hidden deep within regions of emotion, not fully understood, unhealed wounds, anger, resentment, and doubts, silently accumulating over the years. The question is, how do we address that darkness? The answer is simple. Do not try to erase the darkness. Light it up. As we explained earlier, you can revisit that section in the video playlist. And you see, darkness can persist for thousands of years, but a single ray of light will dispel it. Even in thousands of years, light is the only thing darkness cannot survive. And this holds true within our inner world. Resentment, a form of darkness within the heart. Look at a common example: resentment toward family members. Whether spouse, child, or parent, someone who was once very close now becomes the origin of resentment. But have you noticed, the more you try not to resent, the more you torment yourself. The more you try to forget, the more it hurts. The more you suppress it, the more it bursts out. Why? Because you are using darkness of resentment to clear the darkness. You are trying to suppress negative emotions. So what is the light here? It is gratitude. When you begin to practice appreciation and thankfulness, resentment will gradually vanish. The light principle is a way of life. You can apply this principle in every area. In work, instead of blaming difficult clients, be thankful they help you hone your service skills. In health, instead of resenting a weak body, be grateful it is still making an effort every day. In finances, instead of worrying about lack, be thankful for every dollar you have, because it is a result of effort. Inner darkness does not need to be defeated, it just needs to be illuminated. You don't need to be stronger than the pain. You just need to gently light up understanding, appreciation, and let that light do the rest. Once you have learned to light your inner world and understood the light principle, the next step is to activate yourself every day. Because there is this truth. Knowing does not make you change. Only when you understand, apply, and transform do you truly grow. And for that to happen, we need a core principle, the neural activation principle. Why activate the brain? Your mind is like fertile soil, but if each day you only plant a seed and then forget about it, that soil will never bloom. On the contrary, if each day you nurture, reflect on it, contemplate, and share, then every seed of wisdom will be activated, sprout, and bloom. 3 simple steps in the 21-day journey I invite you each evening to spend a few minutes writing down. Lesson. What new insight did you realize today? It could be an idea, an observation, or a new perspective. Residential among what you learned, what do you see can be applied in your life? Realization. Is there something you once struggled with that today you suddenly understand? You may think just knowing in your head is enough. But my friend, when you write it down, you engrave it deeper, and when you share it, you activate collective intelligence. What is collective intelligence? It is when an idea, by being shared, becomes inspiration for others. It is when your perspective lights up a dark corner of someone else's mind. And more magically, when you voice a learning, you understand it more deeply. You don't need to be an expert. You only need sincerity. You don't need perfect expression. You only need to share honestly. Because sometimes a heartfelt word can touch the deepest parts of a listener. This is a process, not an event. Do not expect today you learn, tomorrow you transform. Plant the seed daily, then one beautiful morning you will see yourself changed. No longer reacting impulsively as before. No longer confused when crisis comes. No longer feeling alone, because you have activated inner strength. And wisdom is no longer just knowledge, but a miraculous living presence. Dear friend, we have just walked through a journey not only of thought, but of return. A return to yourself, a return to the core, a return to values that are not loud, but enduring, like wisdom, character, mindset, and virtue. And what do you need to do? Just begin with a small action. A mindful choice. A real change that comes from within you. And if a part of you feels, I want to share this, then do it from your heart. And I encourage you to consider the following. Press subscribe to the Inner World podcast channel, not because the channel needs another subscriber, but because you need a place to nourish yourself regularly. And if you leave a comment, let it be a reminder to yourself, I am ready to live in holistic wealth. Thank you for spending your precious time accompanying me, Liam Johnson, in this space where the journey of inner growth still holds much waiting for you to discover. Wishing you a truly peaceful evening.